Listen carefully. There are several determinants of demand we have. No? All these things are the determinants of demand. Even though there are several determinants of demand, the main factor that determines demand is price of the same product. Therefore, it is something special for us. It's something different from other factors. When you draw a demand curve, only the price changes, other factors remain constant. That is our assumption. Therefore, if the demand curve is shifted, that's only because of other factors, not because of the price of the same product. Anybody having doubts in this? If you have anything, please ask me. Now let's go to the text here. One of the basic assumptions of economic theory is other things being equal. Okay, other things being equal. Change in other things will bring about increase or decrease in demand. That means when you draw the demand curve, other factors remain constant, like that we assume. In case if other factors change, definitely the demand curve has to shift. That's what they say. Change in other things will bring about increase or decrease in demand. A change in one or more of the other things of demand will change the demand data and the table, and therefore the location of the demand curve. That means we will have an entirely different demand schedule, an entirely different demand curve. In other words, shifts occur when the ceteris are not paribus. What do you mean by that? Shift occurs when ceteris are not paribus means what? There will be a shift in demand curve when the other factors are changing. Now, when you draw the demand curve, we assume that other factors remain constant. No. In case if the other factors start changing, demand curve will be shifted. In figure 4.3, the increase in demand is shown by the shift of the demand curve to the right from D1 to D3. See this? D1 to D3. Decrease in demand. Now, it should be 4.3, no? Increase in demand, it's not D1 to D3. It should be D0 to D2. See this? D0 to D2. Decrease in demand showed by the shift of the demand from D1 to D2. It's not D1 to D2. It should be D0 to D2. So D0 to D1. Small printing error. This is D2, right? This is D0. This is D1. So D0 to D2, increase in demand, shifting right. Then D0 to D1, decrease in demand. What is that? Shifting left. Is it okay for y'all? Clear? Any questions you have to answer? So remember, whenever the other factors that determine demand change, there will be a shift in the demand curve. Okay, see this. Now let's see how changes in each of the other variables affect demand. Many variables can shift demand curve. The most important are income, price of related goods, taste and preferences, expectations, number of buyers. Now we are going to discuss how demand is affected by income. Now see, income can affect demand. When income of the consumers increases, more will be demand. That's correct, no? Income will affect the demand. When income of consuming, now say I am a consumer, my income is increasing. What I will do? I will try to demand more. When income of consumers increases, more will be demanded. Therefore, we can say that as income increases, other things being equal, the demand for a commodity also increases. That means when income increases, demand will increase. But the effects of income depend on the type of product. For a normal good, there is a positive relationship between consumer income and quantity consumed. When income increases, a consumer buys a larger quantity of a normal good. Most goods fall into this category. Although most products are normal goods, there are some exceptions. As income increases beyond some point, the demand for used clothing, retrade tires, and third-hand automobiles may decrease because of the high income enables consumers to buy new version of those products. If the demand for a good increases, when income increases, the good is a normal good. If demand for a good falls, when income increases, the good is an inferior good. I will explain this little in detail. Listen. Did you all understand that income affect the demand? First tell me. Did you all understand that income will affect demand? Are you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Income will definitely affect demand. So income and demand, okay, positive relationship for normal goods. Income and demand, positive relationship for what? Normal goods. Then income and demand, negative relationship for inferior goods. Right. Now, normal goods in the sense, most of the products that we normally use in our life. Those products, you know, if the income increases, demand will increase. If the income decreases, demand will decrease. For example, think about a luxury good, say gold. Your income is lower, therefore you are not demanding that much of gold because your income is not enough. If your income increases, what you will do? You will buy more gold. Correct? No? If your income is increasing, you will buy more gold. If your income decreases, you will buy less gold. This is what we say normal goods. For normal goods, income and demand, positive relationship. When income increases, demand will increase. When income decreases, demand will decrease. Now, what are these inferior goods? Anybody having any idea about the inferior goods? Have you heard the term inferior goods? Now, inferior goods in the sense, low quality goods. Low quality goods. Since the quality is lower, the price also normally will be lower. Then these are demanded by low income people. For example, a wristwatch. Okay. A wristwatch you can buy for 10,000 also. You can buy for 500 also. Understood? This 500 rupees worth of wristwatch is a low quality wristwatch. There is a person whose income is lower. There is a person whose income is lower. Then can he buy 10,000 rupees worth of wristwatch? His income is
No.
lower. Can he buy 10,000 rupees worth of wristwatch?
No, sir.
Can't. So he is buying 500 rupees worth of wristwatch. Little later, his income increases. His income increases. Then he is thinking like this, no, I have got a good income now. Hereafter, I don't want to buy this 500 rupees worth of wristwatch because I have enough money to buy good product. So he will demand a better one. Correct? No? This is what we say inferior goods. So shall we write a small note for inferior goods somewhere in your book or is in your tube? Write down this. Write down. Inferior goods are low quality products demanded by low income people since the price is low. Understood? Inferior goods are low quality products demanded by low income people since the price is lower. Since the price is low. Did you understand the meaning of inferior goods? So you can also continue here. There is a negative relationship between income and demand. There is a negative relationship between income and demand. For normal goods, income and demand, positive relationship. For inferior goods, income and demand, negative relationship. Are you okay with this?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that is about the income and demand relationship. Okay. So now in your textbook, some of the sentences are there. They use some complicated words. That's why you don't understand. So those things I will simplify and tell you. Did you all understand this simplified information?
Yes, sir.
Right. So income is a factor that determine demand. Income and demand positive relationship for normal goods and negative relationship for inferior goods. Then see price of related goods. Under the price of related goods, there are two things. One is the substitutes. The other one is the complements. Price of related goods or price of other goods. One we have substitutes. The other one we have complements. So last class also slightly we have discussed this. Can you tell me what are substitutes? Can somebody tell me the answer? Substitute.
Substitute means the things that we can use instead of a product.
Yes,
For
very good.
example,
Yeah.
we can use tea powder instead of fresh milk, like that.
Okay, very good. That means substitutes are the products that give similar satisfaction. Therefore, we can use a substitute instead of a particular product. As you said, milk powder and fresh milk, tea and coffee, bread and roti. Can you understand? Wheat and corn, right? Ice cream and yogurt. Like that, so many examples we can say. They are the substitutes. There is a positive relationship between price of a substitute and demand of a product. If the price of fresh milk increases, demand for milk powder will increase. Can you understand? If the price of fresh milk increases, demand for milk powder will increase. Why? When the price of fresh milk increases, those who buy fresh milk come to buy milk powder, so that the demand for milk powder will increase. Are you okay with this? You must know what are substitutes. Also, you must know there is a positive relationship between price of a substitute and demand of a product. Both you must know. Positive relationship, did you all understand?
Yes, sir.
So remember, substitutes are the products that give similar satisfaction, or the substitutes are the products which we use instead of the particular product. There is a positive relationship between price of a substitute and demand of a product. And if you come to the complements, they are the supporting products. Okay, students, complements are the supporting products. For example, bread is a product. One of its supporting product can be jam. So jam is a complement of bread. Can you understand? If you take TV, a supporting product can be remote. It's a supporting product. Understood? If you take a motor vehicle, supporting product could be engine. Like that, in our daily life, when we use certain products, we have to use some other products which support these products. These are called as complements. So in relation to complements, there is a negative relationship between price of a complement and demand of a product. There is a negative relationship between price of a complement and demand of a product. Say, for example, TV, certain amount of money will come. For that remote also, certain money you have to pay. If the price of remote increases, demand for TV will decrease. Now just imagine, if the price of spare parts increases, certain brands of motor vehicles demand will decrease. Is it okay for y'all? Therefore, for complements, negative relationship between price of a complement and demand of a product. Any doubts you all have? Okay, so the prices of related products. Okay, now that one in your text, how it is discussed, we'll see now. See this. The prices of related goods also affect the demand for a particular good. In some cases, the demand for a good will go up as the price of the related good rise. The goods so interrelated are known as substitutes. Example, radio and gramophone. That means those days, in ancient days, all days, we use something as gramophone. So that is one example for substitute. In some other cases, demand for a good will come down as the price of related good rise. The goods so interrelated are complements. Example, car and petrol, pen and ink, cart and hose, etc. A substitute good is one that can be used in place of another good. A complementary good is one that, that is used together with another good. An increase in the price of substitutes. Example, the price of tea increases and the demand for coffee increases. the price of beef increases and the demand for chicken increases. Okay. A decrease in the price of complements. Example, the price of gasoline falls, the demand for service increases. The room rate for hotel near the golf course falls, the demand for golf increases. Many examples you can see. So summary, price of related goods include complements and substitutes. Substitutes are the products that give similar satisfaction. There is a positive relationship between price of a substitute and demand of a product. And there is a negative relationship between price of a complement and demand of a product. Okay. Now, the next one, consumer taste. Otherwise, preferences. You know, time to time for certain products, the preference increases. So if there is a huge preference for certain products, the demand for those products will increase. If there is a drop in the preference, the demand will decrease. That's a summary of this. So consumer taste or preferences. See, one factor that can change demand is change in consumer taste or preferences. A commodity may not be purchased by the consumer, even though it is very cheap and useful, if the commodity is not to his taste or like. Can you understand? There is a product, its price is very much lower, even though that product will not be bought by the people if they don't like that. First of all, we should have the preference to buy that. Okay. So contrarily, a good may be purchased by the buyer, even though it is very costly, it is preferred by him. So a person likes to buy something, he likes a product, even though the price is higher, he will buy. That's the one consumer taste. For example, as technology improved, consumer taste in music changed from cassette tapes to CDs to MP3 files. If consumers' preference shift in favor of pizza, the demand for pizza increases. Understood? Are you okay with this taste or consumer taste? Are you okay?
Sir, can you repeat again?
Yeah. Consumer taste is another determinant of demand. If people or the consumer needs a product, he must have the preference over that. His taste. Now, say for example, you want to buy a dress. So according to your preference only you will buy. When the price is lower, and if that dress you don't like, will you buy that? You don't like to buy a dress, but the price is lower. Will you buy that? No. Price is lower. Even though price is lower, you won't buy since you don't like that. Therefore, what you like is the preference. Some of the products are there, price is little higher, even though you will buy. Because why? You have the preference to buy that. That's what we say consumer taste or preferences. Now, did you understand? Everybody okay with that consumer taste and preference?
Yes, sir.
Now see the expectations. So expectations in the sense, in future, what will happen in price? That's our discussion. If the consumer believes that the price of a commodity will rise in future, he may buy a larger quantity in the present. Now in today also, sometimes you might have observed in several petrol sheds, there was a huge queue of vehicle, because there is a kind of rumor or is a confirmed message, we don't know. The price of petrol is going to be increased, like that a message. People think that the petrol price will increase in future. If they think that petrol price will increase in future, at present what they will do, they will buy more petrol and keep. Can you understand? So summary, if we think that price of a product will increase in future, at present for that product demand will increase. The same way, if we think that price will decrease in future, at present the demand will decrease. Say price of a vegetable will decrease after 2 days. Like that today, if you know, what you will do, the demand for that vegetable, you will reduce. Why? After 2 days for a lower price, you can buy. Can you understand that expectations? Price expectation means what? If it is expected that the price will increase in future, present demand will increase. Okay. If it is expected that the price will decrease in future, present demand will decrease. That's a summary of that. Okay. Okay. Now see the number of buyers, another determinant of demand. An increase in the number of buyers means that there are more potential pizza consumers. That means more individual demand curves to adapt to get the market demand curve. So market demand increases. A decrease in the number of people means that a decrease in the number of people means that there are few pizza consumers, so that the market demand for pizza decreases. The rising number of older persons in Sri Lanka in recent years has increased the demand for medical care and retirement communities. In contrast, immigration. What is immigration? Out migration. People are moving out from many small rural communities has reduced the population, and thus the demand for housing, home appliances, and auto repairs in towns have increased. So in other words, shift occur when the settlers are not permitted. That means now here in your text, several other factors that determine demand are explained, and they are telling that if there are changes in them, there will be a shift in demand curve. That is the summary of that, right? Is it clear for you? Now here, other than the price of the same product, whatever the factors change, there will be a shift in the demand. See this activity 2. If the price of big onion falls, what is likely to happen to the price of red onion? Can you tell the answer quickly?
It will increase.
If the price of big onion falls, what is likely to happen to the price of red onion? So see this, price of big onion falls. What is likely to happen to the price of red onion? So if they ask demand, so just I will change this as demand rather than saying price. The price of big onion falls, what will happen to the demand of, I'll make this as demand. What will happen to the demand of red onion? Big onion and red onion are substitutes. If the price of big onion falls, the demand for red onion will decrease. Demand for red onion will decrease. Then price will increase ultimately. Now see the second one. The city of Colombo, houses are used either as residences or offices. In the city of Colombo, houses are used either as residences or offices. What will happen to the rent if the demand for offices increases? Can you understand? Now, demand for offices increase. The demand increases, the price of this office is the rent. The demand increases, ultimately the rent will increase. This is general knowledge. Is it okay? Students, are you okay with that change in demand? Demand changes, otherwise the demand curve will be shifted whenever whenever the factors other than the price of the same product changes. Then see the heading, change in quantity demanded and change in demand. That means we discuss now demand will be shifted when the factors other than the same product changes. Now change in quantity demanded and change in demand. First of all, I'll give a small note for this change in quantity demanded and change in demand. After that, you can refer this note, you will easily understand. So please write down this note. Otherwise, I will write down and you can take a screenshot. Okay. See, this is the summary. The demand changes only because of the price of the same product is change in QD. But if the demand changes because of the other factors is change in demand. During the change in demand, there is a shift in the demand curve, but no shift in the demand curve during the change in QD. Okay. So understand carefully, if the price of the same product only affects the demand, that's what we say change in quantity demand. So during the change in quantity demand, there is no shift in the demand curve. But if the demand of a product is affected by other factors means other than the price of the same product, that is called change in demand. So during the change in demand, there is a shift in the demand curve. During the change in demand, there is a shift in the demand curve. Is it okay for y'all?
Sir, can you please repeat?
Yes. That means there are so many factors that determine demand. Out of them, other than the price of the same product, if anything affects the